Ever since year dot, business owners, people like you and me, have been using networking as a way of growing our businesses. But have we been getting it wrong all this time? In today's video, we're going to be looking at the concept of logic versus environment. So welcome to BSO Towers. If you've not met me before, my name's Brett Sheldon. I'm the owner and founder of the business support organisation, which is known as the BSO for short. So I'm just the same as most other business owners or small business owners. I work from home. I have dedicated office space, which is what you can see here. Yes, in a few weeks we will be moving upstairs. But basically, the part of our offering to our members is that we run educational events from time to time to work on skills to help business owners to succeed. Now, we haven't run them for around 6 months. Basically, the business world since COVID has been a little bit up in the air. So we were talking about things one week and having to change things. So we've reintroduced them as of Monday just gone. And this video is based off the back of Monday's education event where I introduced this concept of logic versus environment. Behind me here are some of the notes, but I certainly don't want to subject you to the full hour and 20 minutes that we did on that day. My God, I would lose the will to live. So if you're that bored that you really want to watch something that long, that's absolutely fine. Let me know in the comments and I'll post the full thing for you. So I'm going to take the real world information from the delegates on the day. That was Michelle, Marie, Jason, and who else was it? Emily. And basically put that so you can actually find, basically, it was all done live. There was no notes or anything to work off. And it was really interesting to see how things panned out and where this concept of environment versus logic comes into it. So I'm going to grab a quick cuppa. I will have to do a little bit of math, so apologies in advance, and trust me, I need caffeine to get through that. So in true YouTube style, we'll basically cut to the kettle and I'll be back in a second. Okay then, so we're back. So we've got a cup of tea on the go, we've got pens and paper, glasses have been cleaned, and we've got whiteboard ready to go. So let's get this show on the road. Okay, so networking. Oh, by the way, why do people doing YouTube videos, why do they keep shooting off to go and make cups of coffee? No idea. I mean, the reason I did it, this is my first proper YouTube video being edited. It seems like the thing to do, but I haven't got one of those fancy machines. Mainly because I don't like coffee, but it's a case of so good old-fashioned builder's tea, PG tips, jobs are good. Right, okay, so networking. Question we have to start off with, this is what we did on Monday, is why do people go networking? Okay, so really simple question. It comes as no surprise. It's because people want more business. It's that simple. I've researched this for years. So through my times at the FSB, when I held the franchise of Business First, and obviously when I launched the BSO in 2018, I've looked at this because growth and finding more business is the primary thing that we look at. It's the primary thing we support with, whether that be with events or training or consulting. It doesn't matter what it is, but basically that's the primary thing that people are looking for. Okay, we checked this out when we obviously had the event on Monday, so we asked the four there, why did they network? And yes, that was the number one reason. Interestingly, by the way, when people go network, there is another one which comes up quite a lot, and it's being part of a community. Running a business can be a very lonely place, and it's actually human nature that we stick together in groups. It's the reason why Homo sapiens became the dominant force on this planet. You have no choice, but basically people will stick together in their own groups, and business owners come together with other business owners. It's just a fact. But anyway, going back to growth and finding more business, it's the primary reason why people go. It's why people go and get up at silly o'clock in the morning. It's why people sit through Zooms. It doesn't matter whether people do it online or in person, but networking is utilised as a way to find more people and hopefully sell more stuff. Okay, same for me, same for the four there. It's probably the same for you. If you run a business, it's going to be probably the same reason for you. But the problem I have is that the maths do not add up. So I looked at us, I looked on the day at other people. We didn't give them any warning, so no figures could be skewed. But if you ask what kind of business are people looking for when they go networking, it's going to be split. Some people will be saying, I'm looking to sell more of my stuff to people who are there. Some people will say they're looking for introducer or referral mechanisms. Some people say they're looking for a bit of both. You put me in the bit of both category. And yes, I know the cardinal sin of networking is selling to people in the room. You don't have to sell to people in the room to sell to people in the room, okay? If that's what people are telling you, they are right and wrong. It's the way you do it. I'll cover that in a different video. But fundamentally, people are looking for more business. So I actually did a breakdown of my business. I do a lot of network. I run a lot of events. Last year, I ran 99 events. Okay, so in 2022, by the time we get to Christmas, we'll probably be there at the 80-odd mark, something like that. And we have strategically reduced it down. But I looked at my 2022 sales, and no surprise, it's basically split. It's roughly a 50-50 split between referred or introduced business and business that we've got through networking. It's approximately 40% each, and 20% of our business has come from alternative sources. Okay. I actually asked the members who were there on the day, and with the exception of Michelle, introduced work makes a big proportion of their business. Actually, going to Unico, you're probably talking 80% of their business. They were saying that probably comes to, and Unico, by the way, are that's where Emily works. They're an accountancy practice. About 80% of their work comes via referrals. Okay, so it goes without saying that the holy grail of networking is introduced business. And so I looked at ours, and I broke down my current pipeline, so this is as of Monday, and 60% of that pipeline has come via introduction. But we've got 160 odd clients. How much of that was spread? Well, it wasn't. Most of it came via 4 people. And as you look at it, of those 4 people, 3 of them on paper shouldn't be good referrers. The number one person at the top of our list is a lady called Lisa Billingham. She's a lovely lady, okay, but professionally she's a medium and she's an author. She's a member of ours. That's fine. It doesn't matter what industry people are in. It doesn't matter. But mediumship is not really something you put at the top of it. You probably put accountants or business consultants or other organisations towards the top of the list. But a medium, you put it towards the bottom. And it's exactly the same for Ali Bagley, who's number 2 on our list. And Ali, she's a coach who helps people with writing skills. It's going to be towards the bottom. So I asked the members exactly the same where it works with them, and they wrote down their top 3 or 4 introducers. And I'm going to pick on Marie because she's top left, and when I looked at this, her numbers are quite easy to find. But about 50% of her work comes via introduction. And the top 3 introducers for her are a business coach, a pension advisor, and somebody who works in social media. I've no idea who they are. But Marie's company is a merchandise company. So they provide promotional merchandise like your pens and your cups. Actually, they've done work for us. If any of you have seen the BSO bear, that came via Marie. Okay? Really, really nice bears. And actually, by the way, Marie, if you're watching this, I need to get some more very, very soon. Okay. So, does it correlate that promotional goods for referrals to other people to buy this stuff come from a business coach, a pension advisor, and somebody in social media? No, it doesn't. We went to Jason, and he's our logical, because Jason owns a company that deals with hosting email addresses, that kind of thing. Really, really good independent. And he's our generally tech-based businesses. Emily works with accountants. Well, on there, 2 of hers are IT companies. But the other one is us. But we would be logical because we are, well, we deal with hundreds of businesses all the while. But IT companies for accountancy doesn't add up. So we really started drilling down why. And there's a concept I've been talking about for quite a while, and it is this concept of logic versus environment. And the more I look at it, environment always wins out. Because I've looked at why is Lisa and why are Ali our best introduced. I mean, just after there's a lady called Joe Plimmer and a lady called Joe Clayton. They're the top 4. And they have been for ages. So why? Well, when you actually look at what you do is not what you do. We are a business organisation that supports business owners. Yes, we provide events and all the lovely stuff that goes with it. But fundamentally, what we do, we're a problem solver. And as problem solvers, we help people predominantly who are looking for more business. That's what we do. That's the problem we solve. Lisa networks a lot. I mean, no respect to Lisa at all, but Lisa would probably go to the opening of an envelope if she knew people were going to be there. She's brilliant at it. And when she does, she talks to people. She finds out people's needs. When they say, I'm looking for more business, oh, you have a word with Brett from the BSO. Really? Oh, yeah, lovely guy. Away you go. Talks for England, as you can probably gather. But she introduces. And this concept of the environment people are going to be in, rather than just their skill level or the logical roots, will always outweigh. And the analogy I always give is the one of fishermen. So I want you to imagine a fisherman, okay? And I want to imagine that me and you are going to go fishing and we're going to have a competition. But there's a difference. You, the person at home watching this, is the world's greatest fisherman, okay? Before anybody puts in the comments and shouts at us, yes, I probably should be saying fisher person, but I'm from the Black Country. We don't do that kind of thing. At the end of the day, fisherman, okay? And, right, fisherman. So you are the world's greatest fisherman. I mean, not just the greatest. I mean the greatest of all time, the GOAT. You are an expert, the world's best at fishing on a sea or a lake, rivers, canals. Oh, if there was a puddle in your back garden, you'd be catching fish out of it. Okay, you are just that good. In fact, you are so good. If you sign up for a competition, everybody withdraws their entry because you have not lost for 25 years. Me, I'm the other fisherman, but I'm a numpty with a net. Not just any net. You know the nets you pick up from the beach for your kids? A pink one? Mine's a little pink one with a hole in it. Okay, the question is, who's going to catch more fish? Well, does skill really make any difference? Or does the environment make the difference? Because if we go to 2 random pools and we pull lots, and your pool you go to has got 2 fish in it, being the world's greatest, you go to catch 2 fish. But you can't catch any more. Me, being a numpty with a net, goes to my pool, and it is so rammed full of fish, they're jumping onto the bank just to get space. Now, in fact, as I'm walking around the pond, I'm tripping over fish for me to find the best place for my crummy little net in to try and catch more fish. The question is, who's going to catch more fish? Well, it's going to be me. Because there's just sheer quantity of people there, or sheer quantity of fish in this example, will always outweigh the 2. I can do a really bad job and just pick up the fish from the side, and I'll find more fish than the 2 from the world's greatest. And that is exactly the same for networking. Exactly the same. But when people are looking to build these introducer methods, the problem they have is they're looking for the person there immediately. I've got 160 clients. Well, 160-ish. I think about 161, 162. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Call it 160 clients. Those 160 members, I've got 4 members who are actually responsible for a third of my entire pipeline. Not just the referred work, of the entire pipeline. So you're talking 4 out of 160. So you're talking about 1 in 40. So you're looking 2.5% of my clients. Forget the external people I'm talking to. Just 2.5% of my clients are responsible for a third. Okay. And when we did this, and I'm not going to go through everybody because we did that on the day, but I'm going to pick on Marie. So Marie, so I've got some little notes on there. Her number 1 she mentioned was a business coach. And we just looked at the maths behind it. So we asked the question, how many business coaches do you know? Now, if you've been networking a lot at home, you'll be going, oh my God, every time I go to a networking event, I'm talking to business coaches. There's more business coaches than there are. Well, anyway. Right. So she said lots. I said, how many? I don't know. I said, how many business coaches do you know? 50. They're all different disciplines. It could be more, could be less. But the number 50 was bandied around. Okay. And how many of those are good introducers? Well, one. Just one. So that's 2% of all the business coaches she knows introduce on a regular basis. And I can tell you now, she's very good at what she does. The prices are very good. The service is very good. I've got no complaints. Actually, of the people I know who sell merchandise and stuff, Marie really is. That's Marie Walker, MCS branding, the company called. Are really good. They're really good. But only 1 out of 50 introduce. So we then ask the question, how many events does she go to? In an average week, she'll go to 2 or 3. We'll call it 3 for the sake of the maths. And how many people go per average event? Well, guess what? You're talking, well, she goes to 3 events, 15 people, there or thereabouts. Marie's predominant route to marketing is online, because she's based in Belfast. So you're talking, 15, go to, I don't know, a dozen months, so it's 174 people.
Yeah. I must have been having a bad day. It's kind of embarrassing, but yes, I know that 12 times 15 is not 174. Sorry.
So what's the percentage of people there who are business consultants? Oh, I don't know, a couple, 2, perhaps 3. So if we call it 3 to make the math simple, so 20% of the people she's going to meet are going to be business consultants. So we've got to find that one person out of 50. So there's going to be 3 people there. What's the likelihood of those 3 people being a 2% chance of being the right person? It doesn't stack up. It actually works, say, if you work the maths out. So 20% are going to be business consultants, of which 2% of those business consultants are going to be right for Marie, which is 0.4% chance. So she's going to events with a 0.4% chance of the people she's speaking to of being a really good introducer from a business consultant perspective. Let's put that the other way. She's got a 99.6% chance, pretty much 100% chance of him not being there. So why the heck is she doing? I mean, you can go across the other ones. How many pension advisors, how many social media bots are going to be there? If the numbers were exactly the same, she's got a 1.2% chance of finding somebody. So she's got a 98.8% chance of not finding it. If you're putting a tenner on, you ain't going to win. So where does all this come down to? So it's going back to this area of what should we be looking for? Well, the chances of finding these people is very, very slim. So you, as a networker, somebody at home, somebody who should be going, or if you are going to events, if you're not going to events and run a business, you really should be looking at it because you need to build relationships. The chances are you won't find them. But you can. Because as business owners, we all know lots of business consultants. I know hundreds. Michelle. Well, we actually asked Michelle, so I know potentially thousands, because Michelle is the Tech Leader Academy, what she owns, is a specialist consultancy and training, predominantly done through membership, for tech leaders. In the tech world, a lot of the people there are freelance consultants. They are people right up that list. So she potentially could be speaking to thousands. It could be worldwide. So if you actually add up the people you are talking to, if there are 15 people at an event and they all know 50 business consultants each, there's 750 business consultants. Of the 750 business consultants, if 2% are going to be the right kind of people for you, there'll be 15 amongst them. This is where the numbers now coming into it, because if you understand the reason why said business consultant on there, in this case somebody called Keeley, I have no idea who Keeley is, But if you know who Keely is and the reason why, you can then direct us to know the kind of people there and fast track what it is. Now, we had this conversation with Marie. We only really skimmed over it. But in theory, I guess Keely is a business consultant who helps companies who are looking to grow. If one of the strategies she puts into place, because the marketplace she's in is through events themselves or expos or these kind of areas, and if companies haven't done that before, the chances are they're going to need goods. And if Keely knows that Marie in this case here can help, Marie doesn't pay commissions on this, by the way. Keely's introducing because she knows that Marie will do a good job for a good price, deliver well, so it makes Keely's life happy. Guess what? That's a marriage made in hell. We're talking unicorn territory here. If Marie can talk to people like me and Michelle and to Emily and to Jason, saying this is what I'm looking for in one-to-ones, we can then go, actually, I know quite a few business consultants. That sounds a bit like what Fred or Doris or Dave or Bob does. Why don't I make the introduction that way? The chances are we're going to increase the percentage of unicorns. Okay, going back to this little map on here, so if you can see that, what we've done here is you have to go out, so you don't have to sell or basically try to get the people who you are talking to directly in that room to introduce, because there's just not enough people there. Actually, grab the pen. So you're talking here, that first degree connection, the chances of that being there is so slim it is unreal. But you then start adding up all the connections for the people that they know, and then adding up all the connections of the people that the people they know. You could be talking millions. I mean, just straight maths. If you only knew 100 people, and on average every business owner will know another 100 people, for example, that means there is access to 10,000 people. This is the principle of how LinkedIn works. It's not just about you, it's about your connections. But those 10,000 people will probably know another 100 people, which means you go back a couple, they're going to know 1 million people. This is networking. Okay, so the concept here of environment versus logic is something you really ought to think about. I'm not expecting you to get it overnight, but just start thinking about, well, who exactly do I want to speak to and why can they introduce me to other people? And trust me, it opens up a whole new world. And guess what? There is also a beauty of it. Because you're now no longer looking for the sale, because if you try to sell me, I'll tell you what, you give me your phone number, put it in the comments, I'll ring you up, I'll know nothing about you, and I'll try to sell you membership to the business support organisation. I can guarantee you're going to say no. 100% you're going to say no. People don't like being sold to. But if you're watching this video and you are looking for more business, guess what? You probably need what we've got. You just don't know it yet. So if you go beyond the sale, so you're now the fisherman and you cast your line beyond the person and tell the people why you're looking for the introductions and how you help and what you do, if people need those services, trust me, they'll volunteer the information. So anyway, I've most likely sent you to sleep at this point. Okay, I'm already out of tea because thanks to the beauty of video editing, I've actually completed that cup of tea. I'm going to be honest with you, I've had another cup of tea in between as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully that's helped. If you have any questions, feel free, reach out. We'll gladly give you some more advice, and I'll do some more videos if you like this on the basis of how you can make this work better, how you can build the communication levels, and how to work all those. Because it's not just about what you do. It's the old Bananarama song, isn't it? It's not what you do, it's the way that you do it. If you're too young to remember the band Bananarama, ask your mum and dad. Okay, anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. I have no idea what it does. The person who told me to do the video told me I need to ask you that. So have fun. There are going to be links for that. So yeah, Thanks for listening.